For over 200 years, Chicago's neighborhoods have welcomed people from all walks of life, including numerous countries, cultures, and creeds, giving them a place to call their own, a place to celebrate their identities, put down roots, and raise their families. Today, people from across the country and around the world continue to find that one part of our city to make their home.
With so many people coming to Chicago from so many places around the world, our city is and continues to be a city of many neighborhoods, each often defined by unique and discrete identities and cultures. And while this adds to the broad culture and diversity of our city, it also creates boundaries and disparities that echo between our 77 community areas and into our schools. Oftentimes, these disparities are most evidenced in the varying resources available between our schools, including the quality and cultural relevance of their curriculum.
Chicago is justifiably proud to be home to some of the best public schools in the United States. But we are also home to schools that don't have the curricular resources necessary to maximize their potential. Right now, individual schools are responsible for purchasing or developing their own curriculum. High-quality curricular resources that guide instruction and facilitate learning are essential to the profession of teaching. But more often than not, the burden falls on individual teachers to identify and assemble their own resources. As you can imagine, when teachers are forced to find their own materials, often turning to the internet, the quality of those resources begin to vary widely.
I have witnessed firsthand the many inequities our students experience in accessing the high-quality curricular resources that are critically important to academic progress. As students transition from elementary to high school throughout the city, or even transfer schools within their own communities, these inequities became painfully clear to our families and to me. Students who experience low rigor learning environments and curricular resources that are not grade level appropriate are ill prepared for post-secondary opportunities and often experience a false sense of achievement. Yet, students who access rigorous standards-aligned content requiring high cognitive demand thrive throughout their elementary and secondary years and are positioned for success in college and beyond. This inequity should not exist, and students' educational experiences and access to high-quality educational resources should not be dependent on their zip code. Every child has a fundamental right to a high-quality education with access to curricular resources that set the bar appropriately high to prepare them for success regardless of the classroom they sit in. 3 years ago, Chicago Public Schools sought to bring these resources to all of our students by developing Skyline. Skyline is the district's first ever digital pre-K through 12th grade standards-aligned and culturally responsive curriculum. And we are excited to announce that on July 31st, all district schools will have access to the Skyline curriculum and supporting learning materials. In English language arts, mathematics, science, social science, and 2 world languages, which include Spanish and French, so that teachers can begin creating their lesson plans for the 2021-22 school year.
Skyline is a critical part of Chicago Public Schools' ambitious 5-year vision. Launched in 2019, our vision acknowledged the positive national attention our students were beginning to receive, as the academic growth of Chicago schools was outpacing their peers across the country. This growth validated our district's focus on intentionally using data to inform practice and investing in the development of our school leaders. Despite the attention, we knew that we couldn't rest on our laurels. And despite the progress, we knew that not every school had the resources they needed and deserved to continue this academic growth. Skyline was designed to provide these resources and put schools at the forefront of a 21st century education. And just as our city's world-famous Skyline serves as an inspiration and central connector to Chicago's neighborhoods, The Skyline curriculum was created to inspire and connect all of our schools with the high quality, standards aligned, and culturally inclusive curricular resources our students and educators need to succeed. The bulk of Skyline's activities are hands-on and peer-based, but as a digital curriculum, it also expands on students' learning well beyond the classroom and gives every teacher in the district access to all resources on internet-connected devices. This digital infrastructure will also allow CPS to revise, improve, and share new resources in real time to keep with and reflect the changing world our students live in. Whether it be contemporary poetry, scientific phenomena, works of art, or world events, Skyline will be able to more easily adapt and remain academically and culturally relevant in ways that traditional curriculum platforms cannot. Now, let's show you how Skyline works.
Skyline was built upon platforms and systems that provide teachers with the flexibility to make modifications and customizations to meet the needs of their students. Skyline curricular resources are all centrally located and easily accessible by content and grade level. Beginning at the course level, teachers can use the scopes and sequences, course overviews, and curriculum maps to begin to plan a learning journey for their students over the next school year. These resources provide key content standards, essential questions and enduring understandings, texts and learning resources, and assessment overviews. As a teacher explores an individual unit, they will have access to a brief overview of what the unit has to offer, as well as a comprehensive unit plan, which includes standards-aligned learning targets, English learner supports, multiple means of access through universal design of learning-based recommendations, and lesson descriptions. These comprehensive, teacher-facing resources are kept in a Google Doc to allow the district to improve resources as needed in real time, and so all teachers can make a copy of guidance and add annotations that reflect the needs of their classroom community. As a teacher explores an individual lesson, the Teacher Facilitation Guide provides detailed guidance, supporting all learners' access to rigorous and engaging content. Student-facing resources are organized into what are called Skyline playlists. Teachers can navigate the lesson playlist to implement instruction. Playlists allow us to create routines with slides that remind students where they are in a particular lesson, and they allow us to provide resources that students use on a recurring basis across a course or unit, like a journal or a social-emotional learning anchor chart, at the point of each use. Within playlists, classroom activities and routines are designed to foster student-to-student discourse in an environment where they do most of the thinking and problem-solving, both collaboratively and independently. Skyline curricula across all content areas include a full suite of assessments, including summative performance tasks and daily formative assessments, like checks for understanding or exit tickets. And the assessments are designed to inform instructional decision-making by providing teachers with the information they need to leverage additional resources built into Skyline. These resources include mini lessons to support English learners or students who need more practice, as well as enrichment mini lessons for students who are ready for even more rigorous content.
The mere availability of digital Skyline resources is not enough. In order to ensure that our teachers and students can truly take advantage of the opportunities a digital curriculum affords, we have to make sure that all schools have high-speed internet. In 2019, Chicago Public Schools, in partnership with NetSync Fiber and multiple city agencies, began a project to construct 334 miles of new conduit for a high-speed, next-generation fiber network. Across the city today, fiber continues to be laid in order to connect all district schools to a source of reliable, high-speed internet. Beginning this fall and taking place over the next 3 years, this fiber will allow us to provide every single district school with a broadband connection of 20 gigabits, which is at least 20 times greater than the connections most schools have today. Still, while school-based internet is necessary, we must also ensure our students can access the curriculum when they are not in school. After-school access to high-quality curricular materials encourages students to continue their learning outside of the classroom, and they build upon the activities they began with their teachers. Through Chicago Connected, which launched last summer and is a first-of-its-kind program that provides no-cost, high-speed internet service to CPS students and their families, nearly 100,000 students will enjoy no-cost internet in their homes through the year 2024. Skyline can only reach its full potential after it is in the hands of our students and teachers. So our work over these past few years, and in the next 3 years to come, is designed to ensure everyone can reliably access Skyline anywhere they need it.
We can't wait to get Skyline into the hands of teachers in July. And it's very important to acknowledge that we couldn't have built the digital curriculum without significant teacher collaboration. Over the past few years, we've worked with more than 300 CPS teachers who have provided feedback on draft units to inform the revisions and improvements that were made. In English language arts, teachers identified new, culturally responsive works of fiction, memoirs, poems, and songs to build the courses around. In math, teachers compiled lists of Chicago traditions, events, organization, and community members to incorporate into units, tying mathematical concepts to real-world scenarios. And in social science, teachers identified opportunities to embed elements of criticality across the courses, starting in kindergarten to encourage curiosity and invite students to question and shape the world around them. Now that the curriculum has been developed, building teachers' mastery of the content and comfort with the material is just as important as ensuring that their voices shape the original design. CPS is making significant investments in professional learning resources and supports to help teachers as they adopt Skyline this fall and over the next few years. All teachers will have access to curriculum-based professional learning designed to embed best practices, highlighted by national research, and give teachers the tools to not just use Skyline, but to make the resources their own. In addition to these supports, teachers will have the opportunity to participate in central professional learning communities, working with their peers across their networks and city to improve practice and celebrate success. And schools will have the opportunity to work with external organizations who develop distributed leadership structures and facilitate school-based professional learning with teachers for an extra hour each week, all designed to help schools successfully implement Skyline.
Just as we pay particular attention to the resources and supports that teachers will need as they adopt Skyline, we must also support our students. Skyline was designed with equity and student success in mind. First, Skyline puts standards-aligned, grade-level appropriate activities at the fingertips of every CPS student. No longer will a school's address determine a school's curricular resources. Second, Skyline was developed to support our English learners and diverse learners by providing language supports, differentiation built into the lessons, and accessibility features embedded in the platform. Third, socio-emotional learning elements were incorporated across each course to support students' mental health and to create safe and supportive classroom communities. And lastly, the digital nature of the resources allow teachers to modify or customize a Skyline lesson to further meet the needs of an individual student or an individual classroom. By allowing teachers to make Skyline their own, every classroom will be even more equitable for our students.
A universally accessible curriculum exposes students to the vast network of world-class resources that make Chicago one of the best places to live. In partnership with Chicago-based cultural institutions, we can incorporate the digitized collections of world-class museums directly into our lessons and work with these same institutions to align their programming to what the majority of our students are learning at any given time of the year. In partnership with colleges and universities, we can grant access to our Skyline courses to further support our students' transition to higher education, while partnering on new courses that set our students up for even greater success. And as students show interest in particular elements of a Skyline course, we can highlight internship opportunities and citywide out-of-school time activities in partnership with businesses and community-based organizations.
We are on the verge of launching a significant opportunity for our entire city that will serve as a national model for school districts. This is only the beginning, and we are excited for you to join us as we introduce Skyline.